Cute? No. Deadly? Yes. Should you touch them? Never. Did you even read the title? Starting off our list today, we have the Sydney funnel web spider. This thing sucks. It is the world's deadliest spider, and it is most commonly found in, surprise surprise, Sydney, Australia. Bet you didn't see that one coming. So let's talk about what makes this thing so deadly. Well, those unlucky enough to come into contact with a funnel web spider's fangs will be injected with a number of powerful neurotoxins, including one called delta hexatoxin, which causes extreme pain along with sweating, nausea, vomiting, and if you can't get to an antivenom in time, death. Without the antivenom, the nervous system starts to rapid fire, muscle spasms begin, and blood pressure drops into dangerous territory. Next comes a coma, organ failure follows, and death ends the show, sometimes in as little as just 2 hours. So please, if you get bit by one of these things, seek help immediately. If you're unsure if you've been bitten by one of these things, but you are experiencing redness and swelling around a bite site, or if you are salivating and sweating profusely, or if you have numbness and tingling around the mouth, possibly paired with confusion and difficulty breathing, please seek help immediately. Hate spiders? Cool. Have another. Because if I had to feel like I was covered in bugs the entire time I was doing research for this video, you have to feel like you're covered in bugs the entire time you're watching it. So let's talk about the Brazilian wandering spider, which is commonly found in South America and has a leg span of up to 5 inches. This thing is also super deadly and very aggressive. Because of its recorded death count of 15, it has been argued that the Brazilian wandering spider is the deadliest in the world. However, even though the funnel web spider has only sent 13 individuals to rest for life, 40 different neurotoxins packed into its venom are what have kept it in the lead. But back to the Brazilian wanderer. When this spider bites down with its sharp fangs, it injects its victim with a super potent venom containing at least 6 neurotoxins that have an intense negative effect on ion channels and chemical receptors in the body. Among the side effects are extreme pain, loss of muscle control, and difficulty breathing. Oh, and death, which is generally caused by oxygen deprivation. While there is an antivenom available, it can still take up to a whole week to recover from this particular spider bite. So if I were you, I'd keep my guard up the next time you find yourself in South America. So if the funnel web spider is responsible for 13 deaths and the Brazilian wanderer for 15, how many do you think this guy has caused? Need a hint? Well, its nickname is the assassin caterpillar, and its real name is Lenomia obliqua. I'm gonna go ahead and assume you guessed a number less than 500, in which case, you're wrong. Yep, believe it or not, this little guy has been credited for ending the lives of at least 500 people in South America alone. How? Well, this thing is lined with little spikes that administer an incredibly potent venom which causes renal failure and internal bleeding that can make your brain and other organs shut down. Luckily, there is an anti-venom, but the problem is some people don't even know that they've been stung because oftentimes they don't experience the initial swelling, redness, or itchiness. And if you don't catch it within the first 27 hours when the big symptoms come that you just can't ignore, you're kind of SOL. Next up, we have the deadliest spider in North America, the black widow, which is responsible for the deaths of about 7 people per year. Before you start wondering why this guy isn't in the running for deadliest spider in the world, well, that's because its venom isn't actually as strong as that of the funnel web or wanderer, and a bite doesn't always mean death. In fact, the 7 who pass per year out of the 2,000 who are bit are generally quite young, quite old, or have a weakened immune system. The majority face 12 hours of excruciating pain around the bite site, cramps, muscle spasms, body aches, and nausea, while the unlucky few go on to develop seizures and eventually do face death. At our halfway point today, we have the bullet ant, which has a scientific name that I cannot pronounce, so I will not even try. This small creature is known for the fact that when it bites you, it really hurts. Why? Well, because this small tyrant is actually venomous, and its venom contains a neurotoxin which causes intense throbbing pain that can last up to 24 hours, during which time you might wish you were never born. In fact, it has been said that the bullet ant has the most powerful sting of any insect known to man. Seeing as its venom directly targets nerve cells, leaving behind a deep drilling pain that can be felt in your bones, it's no surprise that the sting has been described as pure, intense, brilliant pain, reminiscent of walking over flaming charcoal with a 3-inch nail shoved up your heel. Sorry guys. Luckily, no human has ever died from the animal, but like I said, if it stings you, you might feel like you're dying for a good 24 hours. That being said, there are certain Amazonian tribes that use these ants in coming of age ceremonies, requiring young men to wear gloves filled with them for a total of 10 minutes so that they may be considered a man. And in order to be considered a village warrior, they must complete the ceremony a total of 20 times. Next on our list, we have the Deathstalker Scorpion, one of the world's most deadly scorpions. Their venom is made of an incredibly powerful mix of neurotoxins, which, if you've been paying attention, you should know by now inhibit nerve function. While the actual number of deaths caused by this insect is unknown, we do know that while it is highly unlikely one of their stings would end the life of a healthy full-grown adult, anyone outside of that pretty specific range is kind of screwed and most likely will die as a result of organ failure. But of course, even when a sting doesn't result in death, it really sucks. A person stung by the Deathstalker Scorpion will most certainly experience extreme pain and swelling at the injection site, along with sweating, nausea, vomiting, hypersalivation, restlessness, muscle convulsions, and high blood pressure. On the flip side, the venom that these animals produce is incredibly expensive because it contains the peptide chlorotoxin, which has shown potential for treating brain tumors. And there's also evidence that the venom may aid in insulin regulation, and therefore it's a possible candidate for diabetes treatment as well. And would you look at that, we're back to spiders. Based on the title of this video though, I don't think anyone is really surprised about that, so let's talk about the Sapphire Gooty tarantula, also known as the peacock tarantula. While there have been no recorded deaths at the hands of this blue spider, its bite is considered to be medically significant, and if you're already under the weather, you might just end up underground if this thing were to inject you with its powerful venom, delivered through its front fangs that work like hypodermic needles to quickly deliver its top-rated weapon into your bloodstream. To healthy adults, their bites have been known to cause nausea, stomach pain, dizziness, and profuse sweating. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your stance I suppose, the once thriving arachnid is now considered to be critically endangered. Let's get a poll going in the comments because I want to know your guys' opinion. I get it, it's always nice to have one less thing to worry about, but this tarantula is also so seriously beautiful, and I think it might be kind of sad to see it go. Next up, we have the Tarantula Hawk, which is neither tarantula nor hawk. It's a wasp that eats tarantulas. The animal is commonly found in the Grand Canyon, and the largest species of tarantula hawk, Pepsis heros, can grow up to 11 centimeters, 4.3 inches long. You guys might get mad at me, but this thing is not actually deadly, but I did want to give it an honorary spot in the big leagues because while the negative effects don't last as long as those of the bullet ant, the pain goes head to head. It has been said that the only response to getting stung by a tarantula hawk is to lay down and scream as the venom instantaneously takes effect, causing debilitating pain similar to that of the most severe electric shock. Even though the pain only lasts for about 5 minutes, I guarantee you it'll feel like a lifetime. And of course, if you're allergic to wasps, you'll probably die in that pain, so please just keep your distance. Starting off our top 2 today, we have kissing bugs. And while the name might sound cute, trust me, you're gonna want to keep a far distance from these guys as well, because what they have to offer is way worse than mono. In fact, this small bug is responsible for infecting between 6 and 7 million people and causing 10,000 deaths per year. The animal, that is not venomous and is generally found in the Americas but also certain parts of Africa and Asia, earned its place as number 4 on the world's most deadly insects list because of the fact that it is an avid carrier of disease. The insect feeds on the blood of vertebrates, passing diseases back and forth between the animals. The main disease passed by these bugs, and the reason for the incredibly high death toll, is Chagas disease, which, if not treated soon after infection, causes fatigue, body aches, and headaches before moving on to attack the heart, nervous system, and gastrointestinal tract. And finally, to finish us off today, we have an insect that might just finish us off one day, and you're not gonna believe what it is. Okay, well, you might believe it. It's a mosquito. Sexy? No, but it is quite literally the deadliest insect in the world, so I would be remiss if I didn't include it in this list. In fact, not only is the mosquito the deadliest insect in the world, it's the deadliest animal altogether, including humans. This tiny little bug has also been responsible for causing the rise and fall of many colonies and empires throughout history. Of course, we know that much like the kissing bug, this animal is not venomous, but it is deadly due to its innate ability to carry and pass on bacteria and disease. Some of the most common deadly ailments passed on by these animals are yellow fever, dengue fever, the Zika virus, and malaria. In fact, in 2021, malaria alone claimed the lives of 619,000 individuals, and mosquitoes as a whole are regularly attributed to being the cause of at least 1 million deaths per year, every year. Alright you guys, that is yet another bug video crushed, picked up with some tissue paper, and flushed down the toilet. If this video was a scorpion, that process would be very different, but again, a topic for another time. As always, I've been your host, Hannah Thompson. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I cannot wait to see you in our next video.